Hey there guys, welcome back to a brand new Flick Pick live show, late night edition. This is it, don't get scared now. Thank you for skipping sleep and staying up to hang out with me, because you can sleep when you're dead, alright? But hanging out with me, maybe you wish you were dead. Either way, thanks for hanging out. I hope you have some popcorn, something salty to eat, something delicious to consume, and we'll just dive into it and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, because this is a Q&A, and we can talk about whatever your little hearts desire. I'm excited. How are you guys doing, by the way? I was either do this or go watch Gladiator. And I was halfway through Gladiator, and I was like, you know what? You know who's better than Maximus Decimus Meridius? You are. All right? All right, let's just dive into it here. We got the first one up is from Elliot Cecil. And does the audio sound good? Let's double check it. Okay, sounds good. All right. You never know nowadays. All right, Elliot Cecil asks, hello, John. Did you hear that Obi-wan is now bisexual? I'm over this woke culture. Nothing seems to be sacred. More or less, I do agree, but I did not hear the big news that Obi-Wan was bisexual now. Who said that? Who reached so far to the heavens to pull that down? First of all, if he is bisexual, good for him, I guess. Who cares? There's a lot of secrets the sand people are going to start sharing now. Good for him. I'm happy. Maybe I had a great joke. I won't say it. I won't get canceled today. You're not going to get me. You hear me? Not today. But thanks for the question. Steve says, the African rundown in Casino is my favorite action scene of all time. What about you? Oh yeah, the parkour chase. And the great thing about that was the dynamic between James Bond himself and the dude he was chasing, the terrorist, because James Bond, the other dude's jumping around cranes, flipping, dipping, swooping around, and then James Bond just runs through drywall. And then when he can't run through drywall, he takes a bulldozer and drives through a whole bunch of tubes and pipes. That's a phenomenal scene. The only part that ever bothered me about that is when they're on top of the cranes, and there's like a wire that they both dangle onto or climb up. I'm like, you can't climb up a steel cable like that. Your hand would be ripped into shards. It would look like a shark attack happened on your palms. But other than that, I love that scene. We need more chase sequences like that. Foot chase scenes. I'll tell you another foot chase scene that gets me tingling down below. It's from Point Break, 1991. Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves, where they chase each other through the streets of Los Angeles, and that is one of the best foot chase scenes ever. I would say it's on par. Some people probably would say the Casino Royale scene is better, but I would say the foot chase scene in Point Break is overall my favorite chase scene of all time. On foot. But the great thing about it is it also combines cars, foot chase, and it also combines throwing a dog at Keanu Reeves. Yeah, Patrick Swayze throws a dog at Keanu Reeves to get away. If I haven't sold you on this sequence, go watch it immediately on YouTube. It'll change your life, or at least it did for me. Alex says, will you ever watch a Clockwork Orange on 4K? I have it on 4K. I've seen the movie. I specifically bought it on 4K just a few months ago because I felt like I needed to own it. And I have not watched it, and will I ever watch? Actually, did I buy it? I know I picked it up and held it. I looked at it. I think I included it in a video of buying it. Did I buy it? I don't know. Probably not. I like the movie, but it's not exactly the most rewatchable movie. You got to be in the right mood to go watch a Clockwork is Orange. You have to be in the right specific weird, creepy mood. There's some seedy shit that happens. It's not like you can get, hey family, let's all get together and make some popcorn and watch I can't even say the word on YouTube. A very forcible scene that takes place on a wooden floor. You got to be in the right mood. But I could watch 8mm any day of the week. So go figure, right? Jack Lame says, grow a mullet. Fun story. When I was up until about 4 or 5 years old, I did have a mullet. My dad had me growing a mullet. I didn't know I had one because I'm a stupid kid. I don't have any concept of like there's something behind me. I only see what's here when I look in the mirror. I didn't know I had long hairs coming behind my neck. I didn't know it was 5 inches dangling down my hairline. So I did have a mullet at a very young age. Maybe if I find those pictures, I'll share them at some point. But I had a mullet before it was considered cool. So never again, though. Michael Parton says, just took melatonin, but I'm going to keep myself awake. You can do it, man. The trick is, once you get past being sleepy for 20 minutes with melatonin, the urge succumbs. It'll dissipate. You'll be just fine. Just stand up and do some jumping jacks. You'll be great. And thanks for being a member for 18 months. Yay, Michael. Chad Hagen says, Holly screaming goats. I just saw Thor Love and Thunder. What did I just see? You saw what I like to call Phase 4 forgettable filler phase, where they didn't really have any big plans going forward. So they're like, how can we just make some money in the meantime? We don't know what we're doing, but we need to push out some content. It doesn't have to be good. People will go see it. If we put that Marvel logo up there, they'll go see it. And that's what we got. You know, we got lackluster, forgettable Marvel movies for the last 2 years. Outside of No Way Home, is anything really memorable? Is there like that one scene you go, oh, that just blew me away? What was it? Eternals made me want to fall asleep. Thor Love and Thunder wasn't funny. Shang-Chi was okay to watch once, but I wouldn't go back and revisit it anytime soon. Black Widow is like a one-time watch. So yeah, I don't know what Thor Love and Thunder was. A lackluster sequel? But that would be generous. The next one comes from Landon Thompson, and he says, any flaws with Batman upon multiple rewatches? I do have a lot of flaws with it. I've seen the movie probably 7 or 8 times now, and I have found by the 7th viewing it was getting hard to get through at some points. I'm just gonna say it. There's points with the Riddler played by Paul Dano where I'm so fucking annoyed when he's just laughing and screaming, especially at the end when he's screaming in Arkham Asylum. I literally skip past the scene when he's singing Santa Maria or whatever. I can't listen to it. It hurts my eardrums. I can't believe they left it in there. It gets to the point of unbearable. It feels like rusty nails scratching my brain. But yeah, there's a few other subplots in the movie that I felt like were contrived. I thought there was other moments where they could have included something else. It is a slow burn movie, and I understand that, but it does feel like there's a few moments that could have been left on the editing room floor. So yeah, it's definitely not a perfect Batman movie, and I will stand by this. The Dark Knight's a better movie. It's by far a better movie. Is it a better Batman movie? I would lean towards the Batman for that. So take that how you will. The next one comes from Matthew Castellanos. You know I can't read Matthew. All right, here it goes. Huge fan of your channel. Which Marvel announcements got you excited over the weekend? I did put out a video for this over on the Flickpick channel. Go check it out. I also put up a review for the film Nope. Go check that as well if you want to. As far as the Marvel news, I'll keep it real with you. The 2 new Avengers films coming out in 2025, back to back, 6 months apart, that gets me excited. As far as like the solo movies, I'm intrigued by Guardians 3. I like James Gunn. I like the Guardians. But really, when you look at that slew of movies, outside of the TV series, which we'll talk about in just one second, but when it comes to all the new movies coming out, is there really anything to get that excited about? Come on. We have Falcon. They call it Captain America New World Order, but it's Falcon New World Order. I don't know. I don't know if Anthony Mackie can hold up his own solo movie. And I'm really curious to see what the box office returns are on that, because if everyone feels the same way I do, I feel like it won't do that well at the box office unless it has an amazing concept and they put a lot of other characters in the film. I just don't know if Anthony Mackie has what it takes to really carry a solo franchise. because we don't look at him as the new Captain America. We simply don't, or at least I don't. I'm just like, that's Falcon. Unless you inject some super soldier serum in his arms, he's just a dude. All right. What else was coming out? I was excited about the new Daredevil series. The fact that that was getting 18 episodes, that makes me happy. I'm just hoping those 18 episodes don't mostly consist of filler episodes, or if they're 30-minute long episodes, that's kind of underwhelming to me. But the fact that we're getting 18 episodes, that shows that they're going to have faith in the show. Or maybe it just shows that you can put 18 episodes out of Daredevil simply due to the fact that there isn't a lot of CGI heavy sequences. Because when it comes to Daredevil, he's sort of a dude in a suit in New York City, right? You can kind of keep it low key. You don't have to have everything on this big epic green screen. And I like that. I hope that they shoot it more guerrilla style, more practical effects. So that would be my theory on why they can put so many episodes out of that, because it's just an easier show to create without more VFX. But that's a good question. And my question to you guys is the same question I was just asked. Out of all the upcoming Phase 5 and 6 shit, which film and which series get you most excited? Let me know. What is with the naked HD spam bots? Like, do these people, like, you guys know Pornhub exists. Why would you even click that link? That makes no sense. All right. The next one comes from Elliot Cecil. Excited for the Daredevil show on Disney Plus with 18 episodes. Yeah, I just covered that. I am too. That's probably my number one most anticipated series coming from Disney. Outside of that, there's a few series that are coming out that's just like, why is that getting a series? Like, were a lot of people asking for this? Like, there's a few things coming out that I have no clue what they even were. I'm sure I could Google it and pretend like I do. I just refuse to do that. The Wakanda Forever trailer. I did like the trailer. When it comes to the Wakanda Forever trailer, I was not interested in the new Black Panther movie because I was like, okay, Chadwick Boseman passed away. They're grasping at straws. I mean, I understand someone else can take up the mantle of Black Panther, but it just didn't feel it. For me, I guess I just assumed it wouldn't feel the same. It's like, for example, say Christian Bale passed away after The Dark Knight, and then they had some other guy step in to be the new Batman or something in The Dark Knight Rises. It just wouldn't feel the same. But yeah, that trailer though, they sort of worked with what they had and almost made it a concept that's more intriguing. And I'm curious to see what they do. I have a few theories. My one theory is, and after thinking about it a little bit more, that one short little sequence they show of, clearly it looks like a female form in the Black Panther suit. It looks like a smaller frame individual. But I have a feeling we're going to see some sequences that took place during the snap, where everyone disappeared for 5 years, and Black Panther himself also disappeared. I am going to assume someone in those 5 years took up the mantle of Black Panther until his return, and whoever that person was will take up the full-time mantle of Black Panther. That's just my theory, but let me know what you think. How are you feeling about the Fantastic Four movie coming out? Yes, I was trying to think of, I was like, there's one movie I know I want to see. Fantastic Four is my most anticipated one. That by far. I think that's the one they're going to hinge the most on. I think with the Fantastic Four, I feel like Marvel is really going to look at that and say, okay, we need to cast this perfectly. We need some A-plus celebrities to fill these roles because we need to hinge this universe around the Fantastic Four. I feel like they will be the epicenter going forward. And everyone else will sort of be like a side character. You know, the way I'm going to look at Fantastic Four, I feel like the new Mr. Fantastic, whoever it's going to be, John Krasinski, whatever, I feel like they will start treating him like the new Tony Stark. He'll be the pivotal main center of the MCU, the mastermind, the guy who sort of comes up with the plan and leads the way. I would say that's why I'm most excited about Fantastic Four. Now, there's been a lot of rumors going around who they're going to have direct it. Someone said that Steven Spielberg may or may not be attached to direct Fantastic Four. And I just say, please, that would be great. Now, say what we will about Spielberg in his later years, especially with movies like Ready Player One, but I would rather have someone that has an imaginative mind and a style of their own rather than the copy and paste Marvel look, which I'm just getting really fucking tired of seeing. Okay, we get it. Okay, we know what your movies look like. They look like desaturated concrete. Okay, let's do something different. Give them a style of their own. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four. Doctor Doom is such a good villain that I feel like finally he's going to get his due, because he's more than just like a foe. He's a mastermind. He looks pretty cool. So I think he's going to be like the main foe going forward in the MCU, or at least I hope he is, because he's by far one of the more interesting villains. That isn't all cosmic-like and from outer space. All right, the next one comes from... It's going to come from somebody. Let's see. Carter Lovejoy. How's it going, Carter Lovejoy? We got the question here is thoughts on the upcoming Barbie movie starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, directed by Greta Gerwig. Probably, I never thought I would say this until I saw some of the set photos. That may be one of my most anticipated movies coming out next year. Because when you say, oh, they're coming out with a Barbie movie, you think, okay, that's going to suck a lot of ass, right? But the fact that Ryan Gosling's in it and Margot Robbie, clearly it's going to be like a very well done comedic film that's very self-aware and makes fun of all the tropes that Barbie has. And if it's even the same comedy style of what we got with Michael Keaton doing the voice of Ken with Barbie in Toy Story 3, if they bring that same comedy element to the Barbie movie, I'm sold already. Because that was like one of the best parts about Toy Story 3 was Ken and Barbie. When he's trying on his space suits in his closet. I love that scene. Hey, John, what did you think about the newest season of Stranger Things? Loved every second of it. Those final 2 episodes felt like Stranger Things, the $250 million movie version. Really loved it. I don't think it was perfect, but overall, the tone, it was dark. It was like Nightmare on Elm Street with Dream Warriors meets Stranger Things. I like that we actually had a villain this time around rather than just a monster. We actually had Vecna. I loved it. I felt like the 80s tone in this one was like the perfect blend of like over the top, but yet subtle at the same time. I definitely would say it's my favorite season besides season 1. Yeah, I would easily say. And plus you had Eddie. Oh, and the sequence where he's playing Master of Puppets and on top of his trailer. Oh, that just... that was everything I've ever wanted to see. So I loved it, man. All right, the next one comes from Michael Parton. Which one of these horror films would make good reshoots, Living Dead, or you mean you said reboots. Okay. Make good reboots, Living Dead, Phantasm, Amityville, Scanners, The Howling, Basket Case, Sleepaway Camp, Reanimator, Pumpkinhead, Maniac Cop, or Puppet Master. Well, Maniac Cop, with cops killing people, I don't know if society could handle such a film at this point in time. Living Dead, I love me some zombie movies. Basket Case, Sleepaway Camp. I've seen Reanimator once. Pumpkinhead, I don't think is a necessary remake. Just go watch the original. Scanners could be interesting. I could see Scanners being like a new 80/24 horror film. I'd probably go with Living Dead. I like a good zombie movie, so I would like to see another zombie movie come out. So that's what I would go with. Oh, the last one you said was Puppet Master. Now that would be intriguing. Puppet Master as a child scared the shit out of me. And I loved all of the characters in Puppet Master. I literally wish I owned little figures like that. Like the guy that had the hook on a hand, or the other guy who had a drill, or the one guy who's all big and bulky with a little head. Some great characters in Puppet Master. All right, the next one comes from, and by the way, thanks for the super chat, Michael. Much appreciated, man. Night King 01 says, considering Michael Wincott is in Nope, did you ever see the movie Dead Man? Great villain role. Also top dollar in The Crow. He's an underrated actor. Why a spoon, cousin? Because it's dull, you nitwit. Michael Wincott's great. He has a phenomenal voice. It sounds like he's been smoking cigarettes since he was in the fetus. Or since he was a fetus. Since he was in the womb as a fetus. There you go. Michael Wincott, for me, was always the number one henchman in every single movie. Like, even The Crow, he's a villain. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, he plays the number one villain. Three Musketeers, he's a villain. Wasn't he in... He was in something else. But yeah, I liked it. It was a surprise to see Michael Wincott in Nope. He was one of my favorite characters in the movie. But yeah, I like me some Michael Wincott. I like a rough, grizzled voice. Now let's go to the next question. Alex Leba. How's it going, Alex? Review the Alex Leba movie. That thing's 3.5 hours long, man. Here's my review of the Alex Leba movie. It was thought-provoking. It was inspiration. You could see the heart and dedication seeping through the pores of that film. It was a film about finding your ways, finding yourself, and an internal deep dive of not only what makes someone tick, but also it was like a deep dive and a look into madness, which it frightened me, but excited me at the same time. That's my review of the Alex Leba movie. And Alex, you're allowed to take that clip and do with it as you please. Andy Sanchez says, hello, John. I just saw the movie Nope from Thumbs Up. I liked Nope. You know, the crazy thing about Nope is you either like it or you just fucking hate it. I noticed in my review for the movie, I was reading the comments, and people, like, it was, loved it, great, or just sucked. And I liked it. Now, did I take an edible before I watched the movie and everything happening was just like blowing my melon wide open? Yes. Was it a perfect movie? Nope. I did like some of the symbolism in the movie. That chimpanzee scene was pretty... Come on, even if you didn't like the movie, the chimpanzee scene in that film, that alone at least made it worth a watch. Fair enough. For me, I think it was my favorite Jordan Peele film. Now, with that said, I don't think Nope was the best Jordan Peele film. I think Get Out might technically, from a critical standpoint, or a criticism standpoint, would be a better film. But which one would I rather go back and rewatch on 4K? I'd rather watch Nope. It just visually was more intriguing to watch to me. So I liked it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Aki NG says, hi, John. About to work out now, and I'm dedicating this first set of push-ups to you. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. That means a lot. I worked out earlier today. It felt really good. Well, thanks for that, man. Don't ever dedicate a leg day to me. Don't ever do it. That would be an insult. But I hope you get a good pump, man. CHM Design says, are you dating anyone at the moment? All the best. Yes, I am dating someone. A lovely lady who's also a teacher. Yeah, I am. So yes, I am. All right, Michael Parton says, the Multiverse Saga panel at Comic-Con basically put the DC panel to shame, especially since they didn't even announce new projects from DC. Yes, very true. There is a lot of new projects coming out from DC, a lot of things that they want to put out, a lot of concepts. There's a lot of shows coming out to HBO Max that revolve around the Batman universe. Like, isn't there an Alfred show and an Arkham show and like 3 or 4 other shows that no one wants to watch? Yeah, the thing is, I think DC, I think they're actually taking the right approach, to be honest with you. They have Aquaman. They have like Black Adam. They have Shazam coming out. We know we're going to get another Batman movie. But I think what they need to do is just set back for a minute and think about what they're going to do. Because when it comes to movies like Flash, which is supposedly supposed to come out next year, we'll see. Well, Ezra Miller sort of fucked that up for everyone, didn't he? So now it's like, okay, they're gonna hold off on that. Okay, everyone, forget about Ezra Miller kidnapping people and choking people. By the time this movie comes out, so DC really needs to get it together. Just more Batman movies. Just go that route, or do like if they were smart, they would start working on a Batman Beyond movie right now, or like a big budget HBO Max series of Batman Beyond. That's what they should be doing. That's what people would want to watch, but they simply don't. I don't understand, but that's DC for you. DC needs a clean slate. I agree, Michael. I agree. I don't think they need to completely start over. I think they just need to work with what they have that works, right? So Aquaman works. We liked Henry Cavill Superman. We would like to see another Superman movie with Henry Cavill. I know I would. I'm sure you would. So how about, call me crazy. I know this is a crazy concept. Why don't we just fucking hire him to be Superman and make another Superman movie directed by someone besides Zack Snyder and make a really good epic Superman film? And then go from there. It's a crazy thought, but I don't understand why it's not happening. Yeaman John. All right. Spawn is so awesome. What is DLC in latest Mortal Kombat 11 game? Which director is suitable for a Spawn movie? It should be someone like Matt Reeves. Yeah, I don't see Matt Reeves directing a Spawn movie, though I could if he wasn't doing something like Batman. For me, Spawn, I'm not really in love with the character. I think he's intriguing, but I feel like Spawn is... I feel like no matter how good you make a Spawn movie, it's just never going to have as much success as another hero. And plus, the thing with Spawn, it's not a cheap movie to make. There's a lot of visual effects. So, yeah... I guess I'm just tainted by that first Spawn movie back from 1995 with John Leguizamo playing the clown. Actually, I liked him in that role. I thought he did good, but yeah, I guess I'm not really needing another Spawn movie. The fact that we don't have a new Dredd movie with Carl Urban, which you could make for like $40 million, that baffles me, but Double Chief says, John, did you ever drive around at 2 a.m. listening to Night Call by Kavinsky, the Drive intro song, to look for girls to bring to your dungeon and tell them it puts the lotion in the basket? Not specifically that, but I have driven around at 2 o'clock in the morning listening to music like that. Kavinsky's great. There's a lot of great songs he has. I used to listen to it all the time in the gym. And oddly enough, all of his music sort of like relates around driving or driving at nighttime. Like 3 of his songs are dedicated to that. Yeah. And for legal purposes, I could never admit the truth, even if I did want to bring him into my dungeon and put the lotion on the skin. Let's go to the next question. The next one comes from Obed Orzaga. Thoughts on the movie, The Account? I don't know what The Account is. What is The Account? The Account movie. I have The Accountant. Is that what you meant? If you're talking about The Accountant with Ben Affleck, where he beats his shins with bamboo sticks listening to metal music with strobe lights, I liked it. I thought it was a really pure, simple movie that almost had like superhero vibes, but not a superhero movie in a way. Yeah, I liked it. Weren't we supposed to get a sequel of that at some point? Wasn't that supposed to happen? But I liked it. I have a review for the movie that I put out. So if you want my in-depth thoughts, go check it out. But I did enjoy it. Yeah, you know the thing about The Accountant? Why is that not like a Netflix sequel movie? Like, Netflix, I'm going to talk about something. I have to talk about this. The Gray Man, starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. A $200 million action movie. I watched 42 minutes of it the other night. And I was just like, my head was numb. I was like, what? I don't even know what's happening. They're just fighting. Okay, I still felt like I didn't know anything about anyone in the movie. It just felt like the most blah movie ever made. So, yeah, anyway, back to my point. Yeah, the fact that Netflix isn't buying the rights to movies like Dread 2 or The Accountant 2 or having these films made or acquiring the rights to these things, I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. But they'll keep raising those prices, though, won't they? Tom Yome says, what movie do you think has some of the best cinematography? Okay, I like the cinematography in the film Drive. I like Denis Villeneuve's cinematography in films like Sicario. I like the Dune cinematography, though I didn't really love the film. I like the cinematography from even older. I like the cinematography in films like Gladiator, which I was just watching earlier. I like the cinematography in films like Shawshank Redemption or Forrest Gump. It just really depends on the film. I mean, even if you look at some cinematography from James Cameron from Terminator 2, if you really just break down that movie and look at the visuals of it, just from a standalone of that, it's so perfect looking. The way he shot that was almost in a timeless fashion, to where his film work and the cinematography that goes on in that film, it doesn't look dated. It doesn't look overly stylized. If you would just replace the clothing and the cars in T2 Judgment Day with modern day shit, it would look like a movie from modern day. That's how timeless that film looks to me. So, those are a few. Oh, someone said Citizen Kane. Okay, if you want to go with that, sure, Citizen Kane. Someone said something about generic slot, but I don't know what that's in reference to. If you want to talk about generic slop, we can talk about generic slop. Phase 4, Marvel, generic slop, regurgitated baby food put into a blender for easy mass consumption. You feel nothing, you remember nothing. That's what it is. Craig Thompson says, thoughts on Venom movies? My favorite is the first. All right, take everything I just said and apply it to the Venom movies. Sony can't make a good movie. I'm sorry. Sony, they're done with superhero movies. After Morbius, we're done. Come on. No one cares. What is the new one coming out? Madame Web gives a shit. Yeah, I hated the Venom movies. Now, the character Venom himself lends himself to be a really good anti-hero. Tom Hardy, you had an A-list celebrity. Now, was he miscast? Yes. Yes, Tom Hardy isn't a very good Eddie Brock. But you can make it work, right? And they just made these generic toss-away movies with bad scripts, bad screen, the cinematography, the way that they look. Venom looks too CGI heavy. It's just, I hate them. I hate those movies. I want to like them. I really do. That would be, we just talked about Matt Reeves directing a Spawn movie. I think Matt Reeves or someone like Matt Reeves directing a Venom movie is what you need. You almost need the tone of what he did with the Batman with Venom. Because Venom could be a dark movie if you really look at it. It's almost like the story of Jekyll and Hyde, right? He has this uncontrollable thing about him where he just loses his shit. That should be like a dark, atmospheric movie, but it's just not. Instead, we have a scene in a club where Venom's wearing glow sticks and dancing to techno music. What the fuck was that? Oh, okay. Your reference was the Gray Man being generic slop, but it works, I suppose. Yeah, that's what Netflix does. They make generic slop to where it doesn't offend anyone. No one really likes it, but for mass consumption, people go, it was all right. And that's all they need to keep you happy with your Netflix subscription. You just need to go, it was okay. And they're content with that. They're not there to wow you. The next one comes from Obed Zaga. What if the new Barbie movie is based on the Canadian Barbie and Ken serial killers? That would be intriguing. I didn't know such a thing existed, but I would like to see that movie as well now. I doubt it's going to go that direction, but I that would be nice if they did make a movie like that. The next one comes from Dustin Rich. I love It Follows. In the past, you said it was overrated, but now you appreciate it. What changed your mind? I had just seen the movie for the first time. I think if I said it was overrated, I don't think I ever said it was overrated, did I? I think I assumed it would be different than it was. And I finally watched it just this month. Or at least, you know what it is? I think I saw a segment of it when it originally came out. And whatever portion of the movie I saw, for some reason, I think, you know what it was? I think I saw the swimming pool scene when it first came out, and I was like, that's kind of stupid. But then I watched the entire movie recently, and I loved the tone. Maybe I was just in the right mood, the atmospheric tone of it. And I think I'm getting to a point in my life, and I think I've been there for a while, where less is more. And the fact that It Follows wasn't some big bloated CGI fest, and it was just this very, like, cheap, independent type film where the concept is simple but effective. I think it just gave me everything I needed the day I watched it, and I loved it. And the eeriness of just knowing that someone is always coming after you. Like, if you really put yourself in the position of those characters in that film, just knowing someone is always coming after you. You can never stay in one spot. It almost gave me anxiety as I watched it. And I think that's really what sold me on it. So I think it was great movie. And then I watched the director's follow-up film, Under the Silver Lake, and I was not a fan. I really tried to get into it, and there was like little tidbits of like stuff I enjoyed. But then it just got so odd and bizarre for the sake of being odd and bizarre that it took me out of it. And I was like, okay, I almost feel like it's just being crazy for the sake of being crazy. And it lost me. Joseph Knowles says, John, do you like Napoleon Dynamite? I find it hilarious, especially the scene with Uncle Rico throws a steak while Napoleon rides his bike. I love me some Napoleon Dynamite. I remember that movie came out. What was that, 2003, 2004? I saw that in theaters probably 4 times because every group of my friends, like, okay, I went and saw it with one group, and then I saw it with another group of friends who didn't see it, and another group of friends who didn't see it. And Uncle Rico, when you really watch that film, there's little underlining tones that Uncle Rico is into, like, children. Pay close attention. Because the way he's, like, flirting and talking to the one young girl that takes photos in the movie, it's odd behavior. I don't know what they were trying to say with Uncle Rico. Maybe he's a pedo. I don't know. But yeah, I think the movie's hilarious. One of my favorite scenes is when he has his action figure he ties it to a string and throws it out the window and just drags it. For some reason, that made me laugh. And plus his brother, what's his brother's name? Kip? Is his brother's name Kip? Comedic gold. Perfect. Yeah, I guess you could say it's getting pretty serious now. The next one comes from Tony. Have you played Multiverses? Seems like it might be right up your alley considering its roster. I have not played Multiverses. I have not played it. But I have been playing a shit ton of Rocket League. No other game in existence has ever pissed me off more than Rocket League. No other game. Nothing else. Rocket League literally makes me cry. Tears trickle down my cheeks sometimes. I get so mad in Rocket League. But I love it. It's like crack. I can't stop. I'm addicted. The next one comes from Marcus Robertson. And Marcus says, hey, John, any advice for getting over a breakup? That's a great question. I think I was just talking about that earlier with someone. You just got to move on, right? If they broke up with you, then it just wasn't meant to be. Just reassure yourself with this. You can't make anyone like you. And if you have to force someone to like you, then it was not meant to be. So take comfort in that. My advice to you is get busy. Be the best version that you can of yourself. Do all the things you want to do with all the extra time you have. Go to the gym, make some gains, get a hobby. Do those things. Win the lottery. And once you become filthy rich, rub it in their face. And that'll make you go to bed at night, sleeping beautifully like a little baby angel. Okay, the next one comes from another one from Marcus. John, have you ever seen Double Toasted? I've seen some Double Toasted videos. Yeah, I've seen a handful of their videos, I think. Yeah, they make good stuff. I can't specifically think of something I watched, but I know I've watched their channel and thought, oh, this is entertaining. Marvin the Martian says, Dr. Doom needs to be the next big MCU villain, and I think he will be. When it comes to King, I think he'll be the cosmic big baddie who can go up against everyone on the roster, but the mastermind behind these plans going forward will be Dr. Doom. I think he will be the main antagonist, and especially since the fact that they announced Avengers Secret Wars is coming out, he's definitely going to play a very big pivotal role in that. He more or less is the main focal point of the villain. There's like 12 other villains in there, but I think he will be the main antagonist of that movie. So if you like Dr. Doom, I think you're going to get a lot of them. I've heard, now the rumor is, in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, they're either going to give us our first look at Dr. Doom, or they're definitely going to mention him. So that's what I've heard. Unglitch, and thanks for the super chat, Unglitch. You say, so many terrible remakes coming down the pipe, but one, I bet money will be better than its original IP. What? Okay. Oh, American Gigolo. This is okay, so American Gigolo. This is a chick perspective, of course, here. But John Berthnow. Why can't did I say John Berthnow? John Berthnow. Why can I not say John Bernthal equals perfect casting? Yes, John Berthnow. That's his name now. John Berthnow. Let's just keep going. So when it comes to American Gigolo, with what was that, Richard Gere in the first film, I don't know. I don't know if you can. I think you could make another American Gigolo movie where a man prostitutes himself out, because you could never make it about a woman, right? That would never be okay. But a man you could do that with. A hooker with a heart of gold. I don't know if that's who I would cast. I'm trying to think who I would cast Nicolas Cage. Just leave the money on the dresser and get naked. Could you imagine a new remake of like something like Pretty Woman? You think that would get made nowadays? I don't know. Does anyone want to see a remake of American Gigolo? Just make American Gigolo, but have like basically the character of Patrick Bateman. He goes there to please women, but really he is a serial killer. That's the movie I want to see. Unless someone's running naked down a hallway screaming covered in blood with a chainsaw, I don't want to see it. But thank you for the question. Michael Barton says, I originally wanted Joel Schumacher, rest in peace, to direct Fantastic Four because I would give him another shot at the superhero genre without studio pressure. I wouldn't give him shit. Now, he's made some good movies. But when it comes to his perspective on comic book films, I don't know if he has the right take, right? Keep in mind, Joel Schumacher sort of like envisioned the style of Batman Forever. That's what he wanted that movie to look like. So you can say what you will about studio interference, but he's the one who wanted nipples on the suit. He wanted those nipples there. He said so himself. So the fact that that was his contribution is enough for me to say, yeah, let's not have another comic book movie from this guy. Yeaman John says, have you ever saw Spawn, the animated series in the late 90s? It's neo-noir, so brutally dark and violent. I wish MCU shows would be just like the... I have not seen the animated... Maybe I have an episode or two, but I can't specifically think of anything. I'm hoping the new Daredevil series has a grit to it and doesn't feel like this bland Marvel show. That's my only hope, but we'll see. The Lost Boys is coming to 4K. Ooh, that's nice. John Birth Canal will be my new YouTube channel name, as it should. I might just switch mine to that. Screw my last name. I'm legally changing my last name to Birth Canal. All right. The next one comes from Yeaman John. Oh, no, we just answered that. Sorry. Your name here says, hey, John, Sour Patch Kids are delicious. That is all. They are, in fact, delicious. I just ate a bag last night. So good. They're rough. They start out so rough, right? Almost like sandpaper. But then you stick at it. They get soft and chewy and warm and even that much more delicious. So good. Now I want a Sour Patch Kid. Omar, what is it? Omar Cito 96 says, hey John, did you see the reviews for Prey? I saw one quick review. That is always, someone said they said they liked it. I didn't know there were early screenings for Prey, or else I would have went to one. No one tells me about this shit. Where did everyone see Prey at early? Was there press screenings for it? I guess I just didn't know about it. I'm mad I didn't know about it. But, yeah, I heard it was decent from some people. I want to see it. Did you guys see it? What'd you think about it? Dexter Springs says, watch the movie State of Grace with Sean Penn. Came out in 1990, Irish mob in New York City. Also Ed Harris, Robin Wright, and Gary Oldman. Good movie. What is it called? State of Grace? That sounds very familiar to me. State of Grace. Of course they bring up not what I'm looking for. All right. Wow, that's a terrible poster. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this. I have not seen it. Speaking of Sean Penn movies that you probably haven't seen, if you haven't seen the early 1980s movie called Bad Boys, not the Martin Lawrence, Michael Bay movie, but it's a movie starring Sean Penn, and he's a teenager who gets into some trouble, and he goes to a boys' school, and just some crazy shit goes down. It's a pretty dark movie. At one scene, he knows he's going to get into a fight, so he goes to this soda machine in the boys' prison, and he takes his tube sock. And it sounds like he's going to... Hold on a second. He puts soda cans in the tube sock as a weapon. It's a great movie. Go check it out if you've never seen it. All right, the next one comes from Joseph Knowles. Do you think Buffalo Bill would make love to the pigeon lady? No, but if she's a size 16, he might keep her in the well and skin her. But he's going to have to clean her up really good first because she's covered in a lot of pigeon shit. And if you're going to wear a lady suit, you don't want it covered in pigeon shit. So I personally wouldn't put her in my well. But Buffalo Bill just might, yeah. Jay Brown says, can you name the best 3 movies of 2022 so far? I was going to make a video about this. It was going to be my favorite movies of the year so far. But I will just say Top Gun's in there. The Batman's probably in there. And I'm undecided on what else would be in there just yet. I can tell you it's not Thor Love and Thunder. B-Force Gaming says, what do you think is Tarantino's best written film? His best written film? Probably Pulp Fiction. I think the dialogue in there is unmatched. It's all memorable. The pace is perfect. Every scene just stands out as perfection. I think Pulp Fiction would be overall his best written film. But for me, his most rewatchable film is probably like Django. And then oddly enough, one of his films I saw, I watched the first time and I liked it. And that was The Hateful Eight. And every time I've watched that movie since, and I've seen it probably a solid 10 times, I like it more and more every time. So if you want to look at it from like a pure screenplay perspective of just like dialogue done to perfection, I think Hateful Eight would be a good contender for that, because it's a very simple movie. Everything takes place in one location, but yet I'm so glued to it. Everything everyone is doing and saying is so riveting that there isn't car chases and explosions. I'm just glued to these characters stuck in this cabin. So I think I answered your question. Night King 01 says, John, thoughts on House of the Dragon trailer? When I saw the Iron Throne with all the plastic swords on the floor that they robbed from the Party City, laugh aloud. I don't specifically remember a scene with a whole bunch of plastic swords on the floor. Shit. I will just say this. I'm hoping when it comes to that series, I thought the trailer looked okay. And I love me some Game of Thrones, minus season 8. But I will just say this. I'm hoping in this new series that they have a character that's relatable and likable that you can cling on to. Someone like Peter Dinklage. They need someone with some levity that you care about to carry you through the series. So I'm hoping it's not everyone just this overly stoic character. I'm hoping there's like a Peter Dinklage-esque character in there. That's my hope. I don't know. But I don't remember the plastic swords. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. Joe Mama says, thoughts on Clerks 3 or Kevin Smith? I love me some Kevin Smith. He's made some shitty movies in the last couple of years, but I still like the guy. If for nothing else, even if I don't like his movies, I like just listening to him talk, right? He's an everyday man, right? It just happened to get famous, and he's relatable. When it comes to Clerks 3, I thought the trailer was good. I like the direction it's going. I like the fact, and this isn't the first time Kevin Smith has done this in one of his movies, but he's making a Clerks sequel, but it's almost autobiographical in a way. It's like, here's the new Clerks movie, but it's also about when I made my first movie, which was the first Clerks movie, except now instead of me, it's Randall in this director's spot. But they also work at a convenience store, just like Kevin Smith, in fact, did. So I think that's a really interesting thing. That I like that he took that and put it into the plot of Clerks 3, which gives it a purpose. And anytime in a movie where characters are making a movie, I'm so fascinated by that. I love that. I love that, like that story line in any movie where characters are making their own movie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The next one comes from, what is this? What Ilias? John, it still bugs me that The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo wasn't successful because it's my favorite Fincher film and I wanted to see a trilogy. You and me both. But what we did get was a really shitty sequel. What was that, like 3 or 4 years ago? That felt like a wannabe Jason Bourne movie. That was, I remember a sequence in That Girl with the Dragon Tattoo where she like hacked into a bridge, one of those drawbridges or whatever, and she hacked into it within 3 seconds to make the bridge like not go back down. It was really stupid. But yeah, it's really unfortunate the first one didn't get the box office returns. It really is. I think had that movie been made today and then able to go to like VOD and streaming services where it could pick up even a bigger fan base, I think you would see a sequel today. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Daryl Harmsey says, you going to watch SummerSlam? Vince retired. Yes. That makes me way more interested in WWE than I have been in a very long time. But also, yes, I will be watching SummerSlam this Saturday. I like to watch the big pay-per-views. I like the spectacle of it all. And do I like dudes covered in baby oil wrestling each other, wearing little thongs? I don't know, maybe. Don't question me. But yeah, I will be watching it, man. Yeaman John says, Tarantino has said he'd love to make the first Blood movie with Adam Driver as Rambo. It should be more faithful to the novel. Well, if you know the story about First Blood, the original cut of that film, they looked at that and hated it. Sylvester Stallone wanted to buy the rights to it and burn it because he thought it was such a bad movie. And then what they did is they went back in and they re-edited it and took out all this extra junk and just made it a more streamlined movie. So as far as like Adam Driver playing the role, I could see that based on the description, because he is like this Vietnam veteran returning home who's a little bit rough. Yeah, I could actually see that being a good casting choice. I really could. Huh, yeah. And if Tarantino was directing it, it would definitely be bloody and violent. I'd give it to me. Yes, please. Destin Rich says, eat spaghetti on Pigeon Lady's lap or slurp spaghetti sauce off Jake Sully's legs. Those little dangly legs just dangling about. That's his legs. That's Jake Sully's legs right here, everyone. Except they're not moving. I'm probably going to slurp the spaghetti off Jake Sully's legs. If you put me in a 10-foot radius of the Pigeon Lady, I'm going to vomit uncontrollably to the point where I'm going to choke on my own vomit and die. So no. Let's go eat spaghetti off Jake Sully's little noodle legs. Then that was a great question. Thank you for that thought-provoking question. Kung Fu Hot Dog says, hey, Big John. Thank you for that. Listening to you while going to the gym. Where do you live? What time is it there? Matthew Vaughn, the Kingsman, said he wants to direct Henry and Superman film Marvel is Dead. I remember years ago that Matthew Vaughn may be attached to a Superman movie because he did X-Men First Class, then he was supposed to be attached to one of the sequels, but it never happened. Then J.J. Abrams at one point wrote a Superman movie. Now, after Kingsman, the newest Kingsman movie, what was it called? Kingsman something? I don't remember. That was a really bad movie. So that doesn't give me a lot of faith in Matthew Vaughn right now, but could I see him making a more fun, entertaining Superman movie with some dark tones? I could, based on what he did with X-Men First Class, but that last Kingsman movie, man, was bad. Joseph Knowles says, Thor Love and Thunder was so choppy, it's edited and written like you fall asleep and wake up 30 minutes later and wonder how they got from A to B. Well, it's choppy because it's choppy. They literally took out segments and segments of that movie just to get to the finish line. And I have a theory about, my theory is they were trying to get that movie. I think the pandemic, first of all, delayed a lot of things going on with that movie as far as like pre-production. And by the time they got to in the studio to make the movie and get rolling, that they had a timeline to put that movie out. And they just said, you know what? Fuck it. Just chop this out, get rid of this sequence. Let's just get there. Let's just put it out. It doesn't matter. It's a Thor movie. No one cares. And I feel like that's almost what they did. Just to meet a timeline and a quota or a release date, I do feel like they cut corners for that movie. I really do. Michael Parton says, I would love to see Prey in theaters, not Hulu. Yeah, I'll watch it wherever I can, but I didn't know there were screenings of it. So now I'm mad. Were there screenings of it? Did I miss that in the chat? Let me know. Or was there like some kind of special screening somewhere? I don't know. I wish I could see it. Now I have to wait till August. Damn it. BTS says, John, thoughts on Cop Car with Kevin Bacon? I've never watched Cop Car with Kevin Bacon. Never saw it. Have you ever seen The Woodsman with Kevin Bacon? That's a weird movie. Michael Parton says, the new Jeepers Creepers trailer is generic slop. I didn't see the new Jeepers Creepers trailer, but excuse me, my assumption would be it would be generic slop. The last one was terrible. I watched 7 minutes of it. So I have not watched the new Jeepers Creepers trailer. I knew they were making a new one. I just didn't know there was a trailer out for it already. Did you guys watch the trailer for the Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone? That just came out today. It looks good. It looks like a good, decent movie, right? I'm not expecting it to be better than, something like the Batman or something, but it looks like an interesting concept at least, and it looks entertaining. And plus, it's coming to Amazon Prime, so you can just watch it when it comes out. But I think Stallone will help carry that movie. I'm looking forward to it. It's sort of like Unbreakable, except more fun. Andy182 says, "Hey, John. What is your favorite John Carpenter score? I've always loved the scores for Christine and Halloween 3. Oh, any of the Halloween scores are great. I would say my personal favorite, though, if I had to like listen to it on a loop, would be his score from Escape from New York. I just, something about the synth and the beat and the melody to that is so perfect for like when Snake Plissken is like walking around the streets of New York and it's dark and just there's a void of anyone on the street. I love that. It really sets the atmosphere. So when you're like going back to an earlier question, when you're driving around at night, what kind of music can you listen to? Listen to the score from Escape from New York. Perfect. Matthew Castellanos says, "Remember Suicide Squad from last year?" No, and I don't think anyone does. I was really underwhelmed with that movie. It was really just like, what? I think the thing with James Gunn is when you give him too much creative freedom, he makes something like Suicide Squad. When you rein him in just enough, he makes something like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought Suicide Squad was a mess. It was a mess of a movie. Like, it had good ideas, but they needed to filter them into a story that felt cohesive, and the movie itself just felt so choppy. And then in Suicide Squad, that one segment where it just cuts away for 25 minutes, showing Harley Quinn sitting somewhere talking to some dude, it's like, okay, that really killed the entire flow of the movie. But I believe that was studio interference, where they made him film that scene because, oh, we got to put Harley Quinn in the movie more. But let's just have her doing something really boring. I was shocked it flopped. Not me. Fidel Ray says, "John, you beautiful, wonderful, magical bastard. Glad to see you again." I'm glad to see you too, man. Chris says, "Hey, John. What have you been up to this week? You got any plans this weekend?" Yeah, I do. Well, do I? Well, I've been looking at new houses because I want to move out of my apartment. I got a new mattress, which is really cool. It's like a king-size mattress where I can just roll around and do backflips on it. I played Rocket League. I went to the gym today. I made a couple of new YouTube videos over on the Flickpick channel. Go check those out. So, yeah, it's been a pretty busy, productive week. All right, this next one comes from Carter Lovejoy. "Do you plan on getting any Criterion 4Ks? Barnes & Noble had 50% off sale this last month for Criterion titles. There will be another one in the fall." Yeah, maybe they have a few titles I'm really intrigued by. Some of the titles that came out, I'm like, would it be cool to own it and put it on the shelf? Yeah. Will I actually take it off the shelf and put it in the Blu-ray player? That is the question you have to ask yourself. So yeah, depending on what's coming out on Criterion, I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at it, but if they have anything I want, yeah, definitely. Give me some. Where is Nightcrawler on 4K? Why is that not on 4K? Mason Arnold says, "I was just in Noblesville, Indiana last week, and Rob Zombie / Mudvayne concert. How far are you from there?" Noblesville? I don't know. Noblesville? I don't know. I'm 2 hours away from Indianapolis. So I'm north. I'm in the northern region. I'm in Fort Wayne. So it's like the northern corner of Indiana. Noblesville. Sounds familiar, but I'm not quite sure where it's at. Rocky 90 says, "Would love to see Tom Cruise win something for Top Gun." I'm sure the movie will be nominated for something. Like visual effects or sound design or something like that. But as far as like Tom Cruise being nominated for a performance, probably not. He sort of just more or less plays Tom Cruise, and there's nothing wrong with that. Wasn't exactly a big character piece type movie. Birds of Prey was fire. You're a liar, Gavin. All right, the next one comes from Yeaman John. Why actors like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Ryan Gosling, who once rising stars in Hollywood, all of a sudden disappear or it takes a career break, I say. I don't think Ryan Gosling disappeared. The dude's... What are you talking about? He's in like a new movie every week. Now, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, it does seem like he got less roles. And what I almost... I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt took a break. I think he specifically took a break because he had kids, right? I think he took a break. That's what I remember. I could be wrong, but I think he willingly did that. Andy182 has become a member. Yay! Thanks, Andy. Claudia Rogajon says, John, you ever seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I'm going through it right now, and it's really fun so far. I feel you'd be the character Xander. Someone else has said that to me before. So, I've never really watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. I have seen the original 90s movie, which I liked. I thought that's a fun time. It has Pee Wee Herman in it as a weird, creepy vampire guy. Paul Rubens. I liked the movie. I just haven't. I don't think I've ever sat down and watched the series. And by the way, real quick, because Andy just became a member, if you guys have joined the members perks here on YouTube, called YouTube Members, that's what I was looking for. We are going to shoot a new podcast in 2 days. So if you joined that perk, go to the community tab. I put a post out there saying, hey, submit your questions here because we'll talk about them during the podcast episode, which we have a video and audio version. So go submit those questions if you have joined the podcast perk, because we can talk about whatever you want to, and we get into a deep dive discussion about it, and it's a good time. All right. Joseph Knoll says, which movie couldn't you make today, Tropic Thunder or Team America? I think you could make Team America. Tropic Thunder, you could never, ever have Robert Downey Jr. playing that character again. You could never do it. I'm a dude playing a dude who's another dude. Never. You could never have that shit happen again. People can't take jokes anymore. It's unfortunate, but we just, as a society, we can't do it. That's why everything now is just vanilla pudding. Just, it's okay. It's okay. Because we're afraid we made a movie for millions of people, but 3 people over here are offended. But now what we have to do is we have to cater to those 3 people, dulling the movie down. Because keep in mind, films, though they are a business, it's also artistic. So whenever you neuter art and suppress it, well, now we're no better than communist China. So those are my thoughts. So yeah, Tropic Thunder probably would not get made. Or they'd have to take that character out. All right, In Homes 25 says, John, you should come up with the first marketed energy drink and call it Flick Fizz. One of the flavors can be movie theater butter and Flick pre-workout called Flick Juice. Laugh out loud. If I have a special perk on Patreon called Flick Juice, where I in fact do send you a bottle of Flick Juice. It costs $600. Now I can never tell you the secret ingredient, and it tastes utterly disgusting. That's not. I'm kidding. It's not real. But I like your idea about movie theater butter flavor energy drinks. Now, first of all, not only do they make you really hyped up and energetic, they also make you violently vomit after you drink them because it does in fact taste like butter. By the way, I had a movie theater candle. I get weird at night and I buy shit off Amazon that I don't really want. And I bought a popcorn butter scented candle that smells like popcorn. But it doesn't smell like popcorn. It smells like salty gym socks that someone wiped their ass with. All right, the next one comes from Tyler Watts. Hey, John, what surround sound system do you use? So yeah, if you want to see my new surround sound system, I got lucky and I got sponsored by a company who sent me a very, very nice surround sound system. The brand is called Nakamichi, and the title of it's like Nakamichi double bass surround sound 5.1 E-Arc system, something like that. But if you want to, I'm going to talk about it again in another video. I'm going to do more of an actual review on the system. But if you want to actually see what I'm using right now, which is almost overkill for my current situation because I am in an apartment, and this surround sound system comes with 2 dual subwoofers, which are like this big, and you put them on each side of the couch, where it makes you shake like that, like you're having an aneurysm, but like a really good aneurysm, if ever such a thing existed. But anyway, go watch my Thor Love and Thunder review, because I did do a segment in there sponsoring the surround sound system, so you can see it. But I love it. It's a little pricey. But if you want something cheaper than that system, I would recommend a Vizio surround sound system. That's what I was using previously, and it was I don't think it wasn't a 5.1 surround, but it had the soundbar, a sub, and 2 rear speakers, and it was a pretty good sound system, especially if you're on a budget and you have a smaller room. Really good. Claudio Rogajon, and thanks for the very generous super chat, Claudio. Joel Schumacher wanted to make a Batman Year One film, as he felt he owed the fans a dark, faithful Batman film after Batman and Robin, but the studio said no. You think it do you think it would have been good? No. Even if his stylistic tones were even 10% of what they were in Batman and Robin, and Gotham still looked like a matte painting with just like the most bizarre, overly stylized tones. No, thank you. I don't want that shit. That was wrong. Now, I do know his concept that he originally wanted was supposedly have Scarecrow show up, possibly played by Nicolas Cage, and they did want to go slightly darker with it. I do remember these ideas. But keep in mind, that would have just been a waste of a Batman film, right? Because all that would have done is delay the inevitable of starting the franchise over again and going a completely new direction. So I would rather them just like not make that, and then we get Batman Begins. And that's what we got. So I'd much rather take Batman Begins over any Joel Schumacher directed Batman movie. Wesley says, are you collecting physical media? Yes, I am. Yeah, I still buy it whenever I see something I like. I got my shelves back there filled up with tons of movies, and I may or may not do another Blu-ray collection video at some point. At some point. Just know it's on the table. Just know it's on a list somewhere. At one point, I will get desperate enough for content and make it, but not today. But yeah, I still collect physical media. Absolutely. What are you looking forward to in physical media soon? Whoa, you're live this insane. Thank you, bro. John Rocks. Well, thank you for those complimentary words. Thank you, sir. Physical media. I'm trying to think what's coming out. Speaking of physical media, I just got this in the mail today. Event Horizon on 4K Steelbook, which comes out August. When does this come? Hang on. Let me look at the notes here. August 9th comes out from Paramount. But yeah, Event Horizon. I have not watched this in a long time, and I've actually been meaning to watch it. So perfect time to pop this in and watch it. Curious how it looks on 4K. I'm hoping it looks good. But yeah, it's a nice steelbook though. Feels good, looks good. As far as like new movies coming out on 4K, I'm trying to think what's coming out. I'm almost getting to the point where I have everything I want. I know Avatar. Maybe not your most anticipated movie, but I know James Cameron's Avatar is finally hitting 4K, which seems like it would have been one of the first 4K movies to ever come out, because it just would be like the demo quality movie that you would show, but that's coming out to 4K. I'm curious how that looks. What else is coming out on 4K? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm trying to think. Like, everything that I've really wanted on 4K, except for like 5 movies, has hit 4K. I would like if Point Break hit 4K. But yeah, like Taxi Driver's on 4K. Everything great's on 4K almost. Bakatira says, hello, John. Okay, hear me out. Throwback Thursday is here, and I thought about a little gem. When's the last time you've seen Larry Crown? Larry fucking Crown, man. I still remember that movie. Would you guys like to know a story about Larry Crown? Oh, you would? Okay, let me share it with you. Many years ago, one of the first videos I ever posted on this channel, and one of the most viewed videos on this channel, was me going to the Redbox in 2011 to rent Larry fucking Crown. Now, let me tell you why this video got so popular and blew up and was also demonetized years later because fuck YouTube. But let me tell you a story here. While I was renting Larry Crown at the Redbox at Walmart, I look beside me, and I was making like a Flick Trip video out of it. I look over, and there's a fight taking place right at the entranceway to Walmart because some guy was trying to shoplift some liquor. The undercover security guard tackled him into a box, and he wrestled around on the floor as the booze flew across Walmart's floor, and the dude's like trashy girlfriend is standing there screaming. So anyway, if you want to see that video, go to this channel and look at one of my first like 10 videos I uploaded. Have a good time. And make sure you comment and say, and let me know you were there. And I forgot where was that question at? Where did that even pop up at? Okay, got it. All right. Okay, here's another question from Wesley. I was confused for a second. I think you asked the same question twice, did you not? I think you did. Anyway, what are the latest physical media hauls? Do you have any physical media to look forward to in the future? Wesley, did you ask the same question twice? I think either way. I have a new Flick Trip I'm working on where I will talk about a whole bunch of Blu-rays. Also, I have a bin of movies. A lot of these are duplicates of movies I already own. Some of them are movies I don't want. Now, keep in mind, I do get new releases from studios to tell you guys about. And I tell you my honest opinion on the movies, and I promote them and whatever. But it doesn't mean I keep movies I don't keep movies I don't want to watch, right? So I have a whole bin of movies I'm going to make a video about selling, or maybe selling. So yeah, that'll probably be like the next Blu-ray-esque video. Claudia Rogajon says, the First Blood book is great, brutal as heck, and Rambo is definitely not the Rambo in the book like the movies make him. Yeah, I know the book's very different than the movie, and even the original cut of the movie was very, very different than the book. So, yeah, I would like to see, like you said, I'd like to see an Adam Driver, Tarantino First Blood movie. Yeaman John says, which movie Jeremy Johns gave Awesome-tacular do you disagree with? For me, it's Age of Ultron. I don't know what movies he gave Awesome-taculars to be honest with you. I usually skip that part. I don't remember which ratings he gave movies. Sometimes he gives movies... yeah, sometimes he likes movies more than I ever thought he would or I would. I think I gave Age of Ultron a very positive review as well. I don't think I gave it like an A+ or anything, but I think I gave it a fairly positive review. Looking back on it, hindsight, I'd probably give it like a B-. All right, the next one comes from Jesus Salcido, or Jesus, but I call you Jesus. What makes you love Once Upon a Time so much? I watched it twice, and I think it's enjoyable, but I find it boring at times. You see, the weird thing is with films like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, what most people find boring are the things I like the most. For example, I guess you'd have to specify what you found boring. But for me, when they're just driving around and talking or just watching his FBI show. I enjoy those moments so much. I think Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth are phenomenal characters. Like when Cliff Booth goes home and he feeds his dog and he's just like putting the dog food in the can. It's just like little moments like that I really enjoy. I liked the time period of it. I like that it's a movie about the golden era of cinema in the 1960s of Hollywood. So I guess I just like the time period. I like the little details. I like it feels atmospheric. I like that sometimes there's not this big and this. I like sometimes it's not necessarily plot driven. It's just here's two dudes hanging out, and for me, I find that so relaxing. Movies like that relax me when I watch them. I'm like, okay, they're not driving over here to do this crazy thing. They're just cruising down the road to go home. Okay, whew, cool. I can live with that. And then the movie gets crazy, and especially towards the third act of the movie where it just gets batshit crazy and violent. And I like that as well. So I guess you have to specify with me what you found boring about it. Because just the little small conversations they have about like starring in movies, or the sequence where Rick Dalton goes in his trailer and he's fucking up his lines and he goes, duh, 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 duh. You know what you're going to do? You're going to go home and blow your fucking brains out. You hear that? Yeah, you had to have 7. You couldn't stop at 1. Just that sequence alone. Like those little scenes tie that movie together for me. Do you like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Not as much as some people. I watched it once and it's just weird and trippy, and it doesn't make me really want to go back and revisit it. All right. The next one comes from... It's going to come from somebody up here. Hang on. Let me hurry up and catch up. I'm 20 minutes behind on these questions. I am sorry. Riley Johnson says, best character in a movie in 2022 is Clone Girl from... Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah, Clone Girl was the best character. Yeah. I would say one of the best characters in the movie, of any movie this year, was the chimpanzee in the movie Nope. What was his name? What was his name? Yep? His name was Yep, wasn't it? Huh, I just now put that together with Nope. I think his name was Yep, right? For me, that's one of the best characters of the year. The chimpanzee in Nope. Ramjo says, hello, John. Saw Nope and really enjoyed it, especially the more graphic scene featuring the Thing, the people, and the rain. Loved every minute of that. I wish the movie could have given us more alien-y stuff, like the beginning with the kids. I do agree. I was expecting the alien vibe, the unidentified object or the entity in the sky. I was hoping they would go a little bit further and maybe explain anything about it. That would have been great. But really, it's not the point of the movie. But it would have been nice if they did. I do agree. Dexter Spring says, Inception soundtrack is amazing. That is all. Inception soundtrack? Yeah. Then the Interstellar score. Interstellar, the what is the track called? Coward on Interstellar? Oh, I love when I'm driving and listening to that. I'm just like, oh God, like we're just little specks of bacteria on this giant rock spinning around in this void of space. It makes me feel so small and useless. Maybe that's not a good thing, but for me, I like it. I like to put myself, like, I like to check myself and put myself into like a real perspective of who I really am. I'm just a little piece of bacteria on a rock, and so are you, and that's okay as long as we acknowledge it and we're okay with it. Let's go to the next question. Am I depressing you? I'm sorry. NRM Design says, John, what's the most disturbing movie you've ever seen? Have you seen a Siberian film? Irreversible has some fucked up shit. Yeah, Irreversible has some like graphic stuff. Usually, for me, like when it comes to movies and like completely being fucked up or making you feel like disgusting, when it's like over the top and like stylized violence, it doesn't, something about that feels okay. Like, that's fictional, right? But when you have like the brutality and the seediness of things that actually happen in reality, and you showcase that in films, like things that could actually happen to you, like in Irreversible, for example, things like that are like, ugh, like, ugh, you can't really look at it. So I would say something like Irreversible. I'm trying to think of like another movie that's similar, but films more so in that tone. Interstellar aged better with time. Whenever they're in space in Interstellar, I like it. Whenever I'm looking at anyone in a farmhouse in that movie, I hate it. I'll just leave it there with Interstellar. Luke Skywinker says, that's a great name, by the way. What do you think about Stranger Things Season 4? We talked about that earlier. Like I said, it was like Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors meet Stranger Things. And I think they got the tone perfect for Stranger Things. I think that's exactly what it should have been. I liked the haunted house where Vecna was from, and the music choices this season were some of the best. And Eddie, every new character they introduced was pretty good. I know a lot of people like what's the character's name? The pizza delivery driver, the California guy. Hey, I'm Mr. Stonehead guy. He was like Bill and Ted or something. People liked that character. I thought he got to the point where it was too much. I was like, okay, you feel like a cartoon character. Yeah, but once again, that question was from Luke Skywinker. Thank you, Luke Skywinker, for the question. And the next one's going to come from Han Solo. Not really. Actually, it's an even better name. My dick's wrecked. My dick's erect. Yeah, that's who it's from. All right. Hey, Johnny, which is a better trilogy, Back to the Future or Indiana Jones? For me, it's Back to the Future. It really is. I think it's far more rewatchable. It has all these things I would rather look at. I like me some Indiana Jones. I like going on this adventure to find treasure. I love those things. But I much rather enjoy the levity and the tone and the 80s atmosphere of Michael J. Fox and Doc Brown in a DeLorean. That to me is just gives me more rewatchability. Yeah, Argyle was his name. Yes, that is the character. His hair was really straight. I like that. His hair was really like a wig. He was a fine character. It just, sometimes it was like too much. It's like, you're not a real person. TT says, sup, dude, my question, are you more of an old school or new school guy for movies? What would you change about modern movie making, if anything? I'm probably more of an old school. I like 70s, 80s, 90s, and even into the 2000s. That to me is my preference of the way that movies look, feel, and were made. First of all, the political climate back in the 80s and 90s, you could do whatever you wanted. And the thing is, social media didn't exist, so now you didn't really hear all these criticisms and complaints unless someone wrote a letter into like some media outlet. But they could do what they wanted to do. And the great thing was, if people didn't want to see it, well, you just don't go see it, right? So nowadays, rather than just make the movie people want to make, now we're making the movie that will offend the least amount of people and make the most money. So what can we do? What concept does that? And usually it's just this really neutered, watered down thing, unless it's some kind of like independent film or it goes straight to a streaming service. Also, the way that modern films look, and I'll just use The Gray Man as an example if you watched it on Netflix, it's not a good looking movie. It's a very choppy, and I know there was a lot of detail paid to the stunt choreography of the movie, but at the same time, it's one of the worst things about the film. Like, it's so cut and chopped, and they can't ever just allow anyone to give a performance, and it looks so digital. Modern day movies, and you can make modern day movies look good, even if they're shot on digital. And I'll give you an example. Films like The Batman, they shot that on digital. But what they did is they transferred that digital file, they put it on film, and then scanned the film to give it a filmic look, which just makes it look that much better. So it gives it some soul and some depth. So those are a few things. The reasons I prefer older movies. You could be surprised and shocked when you watch an older film. Now I just feel like they're catering to too many people. And when you cater to too many people, what you end up doing is you please no one. And I feel like that's what a lot of modern day movies are doing. And don't get me wrong, we still get like great movies. We get a couple great movies every year. But they're becoming fewer and far between. Let's go to the next question here. Claudia Rojan says, have you ever heard of Andrew Tate, John? He's all over YouTube right now. Andrew Tate, is that British guy who says nonsense about nothing, who's selling a pyramid scheme? Yeah, that is the guy I'm talking about. Yeah, he's nonsensical. He actually says nothing of substance. He just, what he does is he listens to like bullet points of things other people have said that are thought-provoking. Then he takes those bullet points, puts them into a video, but actually what he's selling you is a marketing scheme to where he wants you to invest in his marketing group, but really the only advice he's going to give you is to say, hey, what I want you to do is take these clips of me, promote me, and then you get some revenue from it. It's like a pyramid scheme. Yeah, it's bizarre. I don't get it. It's genius, but it's useless. The next one comes from Wesley, and Wesley says, John, your wrestling fan this crazy are watching AEW and WWE now that both TV 14. Okay, I'm gonna make more sense out of this question in a second. Holy shit, you're a wrestling fan. This is awesome. I respect you even more, bro. Well, thank you. Yeah, I like me some wrestling, man. I feel like if you like movies and you like action films and you like... I was going to say character-driven action sequences, but that's too much. I like the spectacle of it. I respect it. For me, when it comes to like professional wrestling, I love the backstory way more than what's happening in the ring. I find that far more interesting. That's why I listen to like wrestling podcasts from guys who used to wrestle or the producers who were involved. It's just so interesting hearing how things developed. But yeah, man. Yeah. And I'm glad it's going back to TV 14, supposedly. That makes me excited. It's like the Attitude Era back in the late 90s. That's when I started watching wrestling. And just some of the shocking shit they put on TV, I was like, whoa. And I think if wrestling was like it is now when I was a kid, I probably would not have gotten into it. But because it was so crazy and they could push the limits, that's what sold me on it. It was like watching like a really good action movie every week. The next one comes from Claudia Rojan. No, John, I meant Joel Schumacher wanted to make a direct adaptation of Batman Year One, the comic, like circa 1999-2000. I remember Batman Triumphant being a concept. I don't specifically remember Batman Year One being but either way, Joel Schumacher is not the right director. I just don't. We're going to have to stop talking about Joel Schumacher directing Batman movies. I'm glad it didn't happen, and then we got Christopher Nolan. And I'm happy about it. Night King 01 says Blowout is coming on 4K. Yeah, I was supposed to watch Blowout, but I didn't. I think I watched something else. I think I watched It Follows instead of Blowout. But I know I told you guys I was going to watch Blowout, and it's still on the to-do list. Claudia Rogan says, do you actually like Event Horizon, John? Everything I've heard about it is crap. I don't know how the critical drinker likes that movie. It's baffling. I didn't know he liked it. I think part of it's nostalgia. I think part of it's just kind of like it's a time capsule-esque movie in the mid 1990s. Maybe that's it. Like I said, I have not seen it in a very long time. And if for anything else, maybe it'll be like a fun rainy night movie to watch. Like, it's probably not good, but maybe it'll be, like, entertaining. And I like movies that are just, they feel like a 90s movie. It takes me back to a simpler time in life. Dark Side of the Ring has some interesting episodes. Yeah. If you guys are into like wrestling or the backstories, A&E's putting out these weekly biographies called WWE Legends, and there's some good episodes so far. I'd recommend checking that out. Wesley says, whoa, I did send my question twice, my bad. What movies are you looking forward to that have not yet come out in 2022? Thank you for being a YouTuber. It makes me happy and I wish you all the best of luck. Do you have fan meet and greets? Have a nice day. Well, thanks, Wesley. You're the most happy-go-lucky guy. I like it. I like you, Wesley. I'm going to hug you. I'll give you a digital hug. Well, in the remainder of the year, one of my most anticipated movies might just be the new Avatar movie because I want some pure escapism. Am I expecting it to be this masterpiece of filmmaking that makes me feel something deep down inside and question my own existence? No. I just want to go back to Pandora and see what James Cameron is going to do with these blue aliens. Are they fucking under the tree of life again? What's Jake Sully doing? I don't know, but I want to be there and I want to see it. So yes, I would say Avatar is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. What else was coming out the rest of this year? There's a couple other movies coming out. Halloween Ends is coming out. Not really one of my most anticipated movies. I want to see Prey. That's coming out very soon. Some people have already seen it. There's something else coming out this winter. I cannot remember what's coming out. What are some of your most anticipated movies still coming out this year? Let me know in the comments section over here. We'll talk about them. You had another part to your question, did you not? Let's see. Oh, that was it. Well, thanks, Wesley. Funny Hal says, despite what people say about Jordan Peele, at least he's consistently gives original movies. Hollywood can't make any original movies anymore. At least Jordan Peele's, if for nothing else, Jordan Peele, I like the performances that he gets out of his actors. I like that he includes some like graphic, violent scenes. He's not apologetic with his movies. He says what he wants to say. I can respect that. And I like the way his movies look. They're almost a funner version of M. Night Shyamalan movies with more levity and less irritating sometimes. But I like the way Jordan Peele movies look. I really do. Like, I think if someone wrote another screenplay and he directed it, it could be like his visual style and his directing style. I do enjoy. Let's see. What you guys want to see this year. Michael Bay. Okay, what? Black Panther 2. Oh, yeah. We talked about Clerks 3. Clerks 3 is coming out this fall. I'm looking forward to that. That would be another one of my most anticipated movies. Creed 3 and Spielberg's new movie coming out this year. I think Creed 3 got delayed until next year, actually. Until 2023. Early next year, I could be wrong. All right. The next one comes from Night King 01. You're just going to eat an edible for Avatar 2, laugh out loud? Absolutely, man. That is the perfect movie just to go to Pandora. Take an edible at home, you'll be in Pandora. Sometimes I think I'm a 9-foot-tall blue alien. I'm not quite sure. Or sometimes I think I'm Jake Sully with my little skinny chicken legs. And I just push myself around in my desk chair. Shazam 2 in December. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Shazam. I'm also looking forward to the new Aquaman movie, I guess you could say. It just looks like a fun time. Claudia Rojan says, yeah, Andrew Tate is crazy. He says he sits in the corner table of the restaurant so no one attacks him. But who cares who cares enough about him to do that? Yeah, I don't know. He has a persona. He's making it work for himself. And the thing is, the more you hate him, the more you want to watch him. So I guess in that sense, it's working. Dude, what's the best jackass stunt ever? Probably shoving a toy car up his ass. I'd say that's one of the better stunts. For me, when it comes to the Jackass, the series, though, shopping carts was everything. For some reason, I was like, that is genius. You put your friend in a shopping cart and you push him to a bush. Why didn't I think of this? I'm looking forward to Bullet Train. It looks like a fun action movie. Yeah, I'm intrigued by Bullet Train. I wouldn't say the trailers did much to really like entice me. Like, oh, I'm so excited to see the movie. I'm hoping it's a better movie than the trailers make it look. That's what I'm hoping. Shazam 2 might be good. I think the Shazam 2 might be better than the original. Like, from everything I've read about it, I think it could be better. At least they gave it more money to work with. 1901 says, when did Michael Bay lose it? Oh, shit. That's hard to say. I mean, you know what? I would say he lost it with Transformers 2. When he started making Transformers sequels, he just lost his shit. But then again, Pearl Harbor sucked pretty hard. He's very hit or miss. He really is. You got to give Michael Bay the perfect screenplay to get him to get a good movie out of him. Yeah, I say the Transformers sequels. That's where he lost his shit mostly. Funny House says, are you and Claudia best friends? Claudia Rogajon and 1901? Well, I mean, I guess we're friends. I don't know. I don't know if we're best friends, but they're always here. We're always talking about movies. So they're just active in the chat. I did not know though that 1901 and Claudia were brothers though. I didn't know that until we did the members only hangout. I did not know that, which I was like, oh shit, whoa, you guys are brothers. For some reason, I never knew that. Cole Pike, thanks for the super sticker chat thing, but no question, but thanks either way. All right, someone said I missed a question from, let's see if I can find your question here, man. I'm going to scroll down. Oh, here it is. I have your question. Don't worry. I got your question right here. Faisal H says, hey, John, did you see Darren Aronofsky post on Instagram sharing the first look for the upcoming film this year, The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser? Yeah, I guess Brendan Fraser has like CGI manipulation looking like he's a 600-pound man. That could be interesting. I like me some Brendan Fraser. The concept sounds good. I don't know much about it. I think I saw like one quick image when I was scrolling through something earlier. But yeah, that could be cool. And Darren Aronofsky, I like some of his movies, and some of his movies I hate. Like, I love The Wrestler. I like, I hated Mother. I hated Noah. But yeah, I'm hoping it's good. Dustin Rich says, how do the 3 seashells from Demolition Man work? That's a great question. I don't know how they could work. Because if you wipe with them or scoop it out, then you got to clean them, and that's just a bigger mess. I don't know. Like I said, I've been saying it for years. Get wet wipes. Genius invention, though. Wet wipes that come in a seashell case, which would be a great nod to Demolition Man. If you haven't seen Demolition Man, you probably don't know what I'm talking about right now, but they wipe their ass with 3 seashells in the future. We don't know how, we don't know why. And Taco Bell is the only remaining restaurant. 1901 says John Wick 4 looks cool. It looks cool. Yeah, it looks like every other John Wick movie, in all fairness, but if that's what you like, that's what you're going to get. Why change up the formula? AJ Lancaster says Ambulance is the best Bay movie since Bad Boys. I think Ambulance was a terrible movie. I think it was really bad. I think everything about it was really bad. If you're going to make a movie about a bank robbery and then it's a getaway, can you at least have, like, and not to mention that the bank robber in this film is Jake Gyllenhaal, who's like this top of the line bank robber who has this crew of dudes and all this money backing up his plan, and he robs a bank without a mask on, and then has the worst escape plan in human existence, where it's the most convoluted, boring thrill ride, actually lack of thrill ride, that didn't need to be 2.5 hours long, and it could have been an hour and 20-minute movie. But then it just keeps going and going and going, and when you think it's over, it gets worse and worse. And then, oh wait, we have drone shots, randomly drones sweeping across the city. I hated it. Coleman Pike says nothing, but thanks for the super chat there, Coleman. Billy M says, do your neighbors know you're the flick pick? If I stomped on the floor right now and screamed it, they might. No, I hope they don't. I hope they don't. Could you imagine, though? Just put this in perspective, right? Say you live in an apartment, right? And the guy above you is like a YouTuber, and he's making YouTube videos all the time. And he has like a following, and you find out that this guy's making YouTube videos and he's doing a live stream. And then you go to his live stream, and 5 feet above your head, he's up there yelling to a camera right above you, and you can watch it. Something about that's odd to me. So that's why I go out of my way to never tell my neighbors what I do. Because then they're just like, okay, I can hear him talking now. What's he saying? Oh, I'll click on his YouTube video. And now they know I'm talking about them under me. That's just too much. I can't handle it. It feels like thinking about it makes the fabric of time fold in half and my head will explode. Thoughts on the movie Prey? I haven't seen the movie Prey. It's not fucking out yet. I didn't go to the press screening. I didn't see it. Punish me. I haven't seen it yet. I want to. It's just not out yet. Jonathan says, John, why is there no Pineapple Express 2 yet? Did it go up in smoke? What are your favorite stoner comedy movies? Dazed and Confused is probably my favorite stoner comedy movie. Also, if you want to factor in movies like Fast Times at Ridgemont High with the character of Spicoli. But definitely Dazed and Confused. Pineapple Express I thought was good. It was okay. I didn't love it, though, as much as some people did. Night King 01 says, the Rings of Power trailer looks like crap. It does look like very CG, digital, glossy crap. And once again, I feel like they're going to try to cater to too many people and not exactly the audience or the fan base. So that's why it's going to, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. The trailer to me just looks like very digital noise. It just blah. Just looks like a really expensive waste of money. Jonathan says, John, you're the man. I want to digital hug you. Keep doing what you do. You make the world a better place. Well, thank you. Thank you for those kind words. You're making me feel better about who I am and what I'm doing in life, and I do appreciate that. Maybe your neighbors are big fans. Oh, I assure you, my neighbors are not big fans. I assure you. It kind of makes me want to stomp on the floor right now. Wake up! They call you Young Franco. I hope not. It's not a good thing to be called James Franco nowadays. Yes, I did hear about Vince McMahon quitting, and I think it's great. I can't wait to see what happens now. Because when it came to Vince McMahon, everyone was catering to an audience of one for the last 20 years. And sometimes he had good ideas, but sometimes it was like he was ruining his own company. So I'm curious to see what happens now. John, are you moving houses? Hopefully soon. I live in an apartment right now, so it's always an apartment's always going to be temporary. All right, the next one comes from Claudia Rojan. You think the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from Seth Rogen will be good? If I had to bet on it, I would say it probably won't be that great. Isn't it an animated movie? I want an actual live action movie. Like, bring back an actual live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie and use the practical suits, because those suits, even in 1990, they looked great. Go back and watch the original movie. Those suits still hold up to today. The fact that they can't just do that again it hurts me deep down inside. I think if you made that movie with those practical effects, that would even be more of a selling point for the movie. I feel like people are like, oh, whoa, shit, they brought back the actual suits. Let's go see that. And then you said, I'm scared. Plus, I want them to be darker with like it was in the original comics, but they won't. Yeah, they need to have more of a dark edge to it. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, they don't have to be murdering people, but, like, have a dark comedic edge to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. There's something, you could do something there with that. Like, if you can make Deadpool rated R, why can't you make a rated R Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? Or at least make it a hard PG-13. Sinester Review says, hey, John, do you still work out? New gym vids? I do still work out, not as much as I used to, but I worked out to, look at that. Here, look at that. It's still there. I got it. It's still there. Let me get it pumped up for you. Hang on. We're going to pump it. That's enough. That's enough for now. You guys can watch the rest of that on my OnlyFans. I drip chocolate syrup on it. The next one comes from Dr. Sick Evil. You got to check out Master Killer. Oh shit! Just skip by. Marauder. It's a nice short album, very underrated. I hope you love it. If you check it out, it's great for a pump. What is this called? Master Killer Marauder. That sounds vaguely familiar. I'm writing it down. I'll look it up when I'm done. I'll put it on the list. I will check it out. Billy M says, I'll be expecting Bob, your neighbor, to be sitting next to you in your next stream. He knows your secret. He's been listening in his underwear. It doesn't make you wonder. I know for a fact, because I yell when I talk during videos. I yell. I know they can hear me. I know they can hear me right now. Shh, be quiet. They're listening. Coleman Pike says nothing, but thanks. I think, Coleman, maybe you're doing the super sticker. Do the super chat. Luke Skywinker, once again, Luke Skywinker, thank you. You're my only hope. The Duffer Bros said they wanted to put out Stranger Things in pan and scan VHS. I can't tell if that's a brilliant idea or a bad idea. I think it would be interesting to see it in pan and scan. And if you don't know what pan and scan is, it's what movies had to do before we got widescreen televisions, when they were shot in widescreen and you couldn't quite see everything, but they needed to show you what was on the screen. Well, sometimes the image would just shift over to the left or to the right so you could see what was happening. The most obvious example of that I can think of is a movie called Duplicity. I think it's called Duplicity, with Michael Keaton. And I remember one scene where it just scanned over left and right the whole time. And I remember even as a kid thinking, that looks weird. I don't understand why this is happening. But that's pan and scan. But yeah, I would like to see a version of that. I would like to watch Stranger Things on a VHS copy, on an old CRT TV. Cloudy Rojon says, also, who would you cast as Shredder? Ideally, I want Ken Watanabe, but I think he's old now. Maybe Hiroku Sanada, I can't say his last name. Who would you cast? Ken Watanabe, I think that would be okay. I think an older Shredder's I think that's fine to cast an older Shredder. I think that actually makes more sense. I'm trying to think the actor's name. I don't know. Maybe you could cast Donnie Yen. I don't fucking know. That could work. You know what? Do you know who would make a good voice for Master Shredder? Okay, this might be stupid. Jackie Chan. He has a likability about him. He seems caring. I could see him voicing Master Splinter. Am I the only one? I don't know. And then you could have him choreograph like a really cool fight sequence. I dig it. Night King 01 says, when was the last time you watched Casino Royale? Probably like 6 months ago. Maybe 6 months ago. Around the time the last James Bond movie came out. Actually, that was almost a year ago, wasn't it? That was like October. So last October, I think. Kung Fu Hot Dog says, John, was there ever a time YouTube burned you out? Oh, there's always a time YouTube burns me out. Always a time. And it's not so much making the videos. It's just sometimes YouTube, the algorithm, punishes you for things that you can't control. So that's really unfortunate. And the thing is, on YouTube, if you stay consistent and you stay at the top, you will always stay at the top. If you become inconsistent, no matter how hard you try, you have to try 10 times harder to get back to where you were. That's the unfortunate thing about the algorithm. And it didn't used to be like that, but now it is. Jonathan says, John, here's a tip for your physical media collection. John is the man. I want you to be Batman one day. I am Batman. I'm just a poor version of Batman. I don't have the cape. I don't have the costume. I don't have the Batmobile. And by fighting crime, I go into the gas station at 3 o'clock in the morning and buy energy drinks. But I like to think I'm helping society somehow, some way. But thank you for that. And thank you for the donation, Jonathan. Thank you. All right, we got one here from Coleman Pike. Hey, dude, do you dabble in homemade Blu-ray collections? Been wanting to do a segment on Graham detailing custom Blu-ray sets a la Tarantino collection, John Hughes collection, Punisher collection, etc. So are you saying like make a custom box that would hold all the Tarantino movies and just put all of your Tarantino movies in like this box set that you make? That could be cool. Yeah, if you had access to like printing out the box and designing the artwork and you could just shove all the DVDs in there, I think that would be kind of cool. Or making like rather than just a box, you could make like I don't know. Like, you know, for example, like if you took one of the model, I have a DeLorean back there, right? If you could somehow custom modify that DeLorean to where like you opened up the back and you could put all the Blu-ray discs of Back to the Future in there and close it, that would be pretty sweet too. Something like that. Like my Terminator 2 endoskeleton over there, like Blu-ray slide out of the back of it, like the special edition. Something like that would be awesome as well. So if that's what you're implying, I've never done it, but if someone did, I'd be interested in checking it out. But thanks for the question, man. AJ Lancaster says, Schmodown is ending, but I still hope to see you collab on a review with King Khan. Seems like a cool dude. Yeah, he seemed okay. He seemed a little too serious for my liking. I'm just going to put that out there. He seemed a little serious. He talked a little smart. And in reality, I would pick him up and break him over my knee. But I let him have that victory that day. Because for him, that was the best day of his life. For me, it was just a Tuesday. And I don't remember which day we recorded that on. But yeah, the Schmodown's ending, man. Did they specify why it's ending? Was it just not enough fandom anymore? I mean, it had a good run, so at least you could say it happened. And you got a whole bunch of videos to look back on. Claudia Rogajan says, you do know I said Shredder, right? Yes. And then I talked about Jackie Chan playing Master Splinter. Yeah, I answered your question, didn't I? I said I wanted Jackie Chan to play Splinter. Night King 01 says, most rewatched movie? Forrest Gump, Gladiator, Terminator 2, Point Break, Nightcrawler, The Dark Knight, Batman Begins. What's another movie I rewatch often? I'm going to go with those off the... probably like Home Alone 2. I watch a lot. Movies that comfort me. I watch. I know there's like 20 other movies I'm not thinking of. Yeah, like anytime I don't know what to watch, I put it on like Gladiator. It soothes me. Night King 01 also says, I'm starting to think you're a vampire. What do you mean? I've told you this for years. I've told you this. Do I drink blood? No, I do not. Would I? I don't know. If it gave me any magical power whatsoever, if blood even increased my energy level by 5%, I would drink it. I'm not going to tell you where I would get it for legal purposes, but I would. But I just don't think it has that power. I don't think it. So why would I? So no, no, I'm not really a vampire. Can we just keep going? YB is better. Thoughts on Inglourious Bastards, pros and cons. I like Inglourious Bastards. I don't find it to be one of the most rewatchable Tarantino movies. It's one of those, when it originally came out, I didn't like it as much as I liked it the last time I watched it. I'll put it like that. I think it has some really good performances. And when you say there's a movie about like Nazi hunters and killers during World War II, the concept sounds really intriguing, but for some odd reason, something fucking flew in my mouth. I've just never loved it as some of his others. I've never loved it as much as some of his other movies. I don't know what it is. I think like something about like the pacing, or I can't quite put my finger on it. I like it. It's just not as rewatchable as his other movies. Gaming Junkie 1723 says, hey, John, would you watch a spinoff movie of Baby Driver with him delivering pizzas and gets into trouble? Yes. Yes. That's what I wanted the movie to be. That's all I wanted the movie to be. That's the movie I want it to be. I remember the movie 30 Minutes or Less with Jesse Eisenberg when it came out. And the first 5 minutes, I was like, this is the movie I want it to be. And then it gets really stupid, and I hated it. But I want less is more to me in movies. If you could make a movie about a pizza delivery driver, right, and it has like a dark humor going into the movie, but it's just one day in his life where he gets stuck in this weird, bizarre situation, that to me would be the perfect film. And by the way, I just gave you guys this idea I've had for many years where I wanted to make a short film exactly about that. But either way, yeah, I would like if he was just delivering pizzas. Sure. CFH Studios says nothing, but thanks for the super chat, man. Nevertheless. All right. The guy who plays Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat movie would make a great older Shredder. Oh, yeah, MKF30. Yeah, you're right. He would make a good old Shredder. He'd make a better older Shredder than he would a Scorpion. Yalen Martin says, thoughts on Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 40th anniversary coming to theaters. I didn't know it was coming to theaters. I like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It touches on a lot of sensitive... The thing about Fast Times at Ridgemont High, it touches on like sensitive subjects, but also you laugh your ass off. You have a good time. There's a lot of drama, but it fits all these tones into one movie, and it doesn't feel too heavy-handed with any of them. It's like almost an oddly perfect balanced movie. It Follows or Hereditary? I'd rather watch It Follows. I was not a big fan of Hereditary. For some reason, the ending ruined it for me. John, talk about The Road with Viggo Mortensen. I like me. The Road, to me, isn't that great of a film, but I enjoy watching anything that's post-apocalyptic. And when it comes to The Road, I like when the kid's like, we're the good guys, right? There's a few scenes in that film I wish that they would have expanded on a little bit more. I like when they go into the cannibal's house, and in the basement you have all those sickly, skinny people that they're planning on eating. And hey, when one day when things get really shitty and the apocalypse truly does happen. I'm not saying like, oh, the apocalypse where we got to wash our hands with sanitizer and we run out of toilet paper. No, I'm saying when the real shit eventually goes down, people are going to eat other people. Cannibalism is going to happen. Give it like 30 days with no food, people will turn to cannibalism. It's been proven. So anyway, yeah, I like The Road quite a bit. The only thing that's off-putting about it is when Robert Duvall shows up wearing wooden shoes eating peaches. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I like it. Okay, I'm going to answer just a few more questions, and then I'm going to wrap up this live show because it's getting late. It's 2:30. I thought we might do this for like an hour, but I find we always have more. We have 335 people right now. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You guys call me a vampire. You guys are the vampires. Every time we do one of these later at night, it always does better. That goes against everything that the YouTube algorithm says. That goes against every analytic I get. Because YouTube says, hey, John, do you know the most popular time to make a video is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? They fucking lied. No, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, YouTube. But thanks, guys, for your dedication. Or maybe it's a lot of viewers from other countries. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. Jonathan says, this is so much fun, John. I chill with you. John, I chill with you as a rock star. I like chilling with you. We need to do this more often. Well, I like chilling with you as well. At first, I thought you were referring to a rock star energy drink. But either way, thank you. I'll take the compliment either way. James Wilkins says, thoughts on Power of the Dog and Don't Look Up. I did not watch Don't Look Up. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I couldn't watch a 3-hour movie that felt like an SNL skit. It's like I get the jokes, I get the humor, I get the social commentary, I get exactly what you're doing. I just don't want to watch it for 3 hours. Thoughts on Power of the Dog? I have not seen Power of the Dog, nor do I know what that is. Silas says, feeling down and directionless, any advice? Well, that's kind of a broad question, man. Find something to do. If you don't like what you do, find something else to do. Find a hobby. Get out of the house. Go to the gym. Just find one thing that you enjoy doing. That's all I can say, and do it. I'm sorry I can't give you an exact question, but it's hard to give you an exact answer with something like that. What do you like? Where do you live? What do you want to do? What do you do right now, and what do you want to do? Depending on how old you are, if you're younger, if you're in your 20s, you have plenty of time. You don't really have to take shit serious until you're like in your 30s. Like I'm 35. I got to start getting a little bit more serious, but I will just let you know you have until like your mid 30s to even really give a shit. Or at least that's how I looked at it. Some people might disagree with that, and that's fine, but I say enjoy your 20s. Make mistakes. Night King 01 says, have you seen My Dinner with Andre? It's literally the entire movie. Oh, and Wallace Shawn is in it. Dinner with Andre. Maybe I have. Dinner with Andre. Yes. Yeah, they're sitting there just eating dinner. Yeah, it's the perfect movie that's the personification of a movie that takes place in one location, right? I have not actually ever sat down and watched it. I feel like most people that go to film school or take a film class watch this movie. I haven't watched it, but I've heard a lot about it. CFH Studio says, greetings, John. Your videos have always been a favorite of mine. Do you consider Nope to be among your top 10 of the year? Also, do you still do your Blu-ray shopping at Disc Replay? Well, it's technically called Mega Replay, and yes, I do. I go there probably once a week or once every 2 weeks to see what they have. And lately, they have not had much of a selection, especially when it comes to like 4K movies. Would I put Nope in my top 10 as of right now? Yeah, Nope would be in my top 10 right now because there hasn't been a lot of other things this year thus far. Now, will it be in my top 10 by the end of the year? I don't know. But right now, I would say it's in my top 10, sure. I did enjoy the experience of watching it. MKF30 says, so were you an SNES or Sega Genesis guy in the 90s? Oh, man, I was a Nintendo guy. We had SNES. I had friends that had Sega, and I was like, ooh, that's cool and gritty, and there was a whole bunch of cool games, but I had a Super Nintendo. Then I had an N64, and then after N64, I went to PlayStation. And then I had a PlayStation 2. I don't think I bought a PlayStation 3, and then I went to Xbox. And so since Xbox 360, I've been an Xbox guy. I like the controllers on an Xbox, Microsoft controllers. I like them way better than PlayStation controllers. 1901 says, good night, John. I'm going to bed. Also thoughts on Bronson's Bonds. Bronson's Bonds? What the fuck is it? I don't know what that is, man. Bronson's Bonds? Oh, Pierce Bronson's Bonds. Okay. Now I understand. GoldenEye, phenomenal. Didn't really care about any sequel he was ever in. GoldenEye, perfect. And good night, sleep tight. Thanks for the questions, man. Jonathan says, John, you are one of the coolest YouTubers ever. In real life, I'm a fan for life. John, you are the man. Dude, Jonathan, you are just accrediting me as a human being. But I will let you know, in reality, I'm probably the best YouTuber you'll ever meet. I mean that. When I met some other YouTubers, I'm going to let you know right now. They're going to disappoint you, but I won't. But thank you for that. Thank you for those kind words of accreditation. And you're going to make me sleep nice and warm in my cold bed tonight. So thank you for that. Lee K. Pettit says, been watching you since I was 14. I am 25 now. Oh my God. I feel like a grandfather. All right. You've helped me through many depressive periods, and I wish you nothing but happiness. Thanks for everything and love from the UK. It's 7:40 a.m. here. We'll drink an iced coffee and have a good morning to you, man. But thank you for that. I love when people bring up how long you've been watching, because sometimes I've been doing this shit for like 12 plus years. And sometimes it feels like I've been doing it for like 3 years, but then I look back, I'm like, oh, I have videos from 2010. It's bizarre to look back on. And then you watch some videos throughout the years, you're like, it's just weird. And the fact that people watch those videos is even weirder to me. I'm like, I'm making them. I know how weird they are, and I made them. The fact that people are watching them, it blows my melon wide open. So thank you for that, Lee Kane Pettit, and I do appreciate it, man. And hopefully we have another beautiful 11 years together. I'm not going anywhere. I don't have anywhere else to be except right here, standing between you guys and the injustices of society. All right, let's keep going. John, iced or hot coffee? Iced coffee. Let me tell you a story about iced coffee, okay? I didn't understand the concept of iced coffee until about 2 years ago. I didn't understand you could drink cold coffee. For some reason, I just never paid attention to such things. Now, occasionally I would drink hot coffee, but my biggest complaint with hot coffee was, this shit's hot. And then one day, someone handed me an iced coffee in the morning. I took a sip of it. I was like, oh, this is just like coffee, but cold. I can drink it. It's tasty. It's refreshing. And ever since then, addicted to it. I buy 3 gallons of iced coffee a week, and I run out of it. I could take a bath in iced coffee. I could give myself an iced coffee colonic right now with a funnel if I just had someone to dump it in. That's how much I like iced coffee. Okay, Claudia Rogue John says, weren't you supposed to go to bed? You look really young for your age, John. What is your secret? Also, Die Another Day might be the biggest guilty pleasure movie of all time if we're talking Bond. I can understand it being a guilty pleasure. Die Another Day isn't Denise Richards? Is that the Denise, or is that The World's Not Enough? No, Die Another Day. What the fuck one is Denise Richards? Anyway, or is Die Another Day the one with the Holly Berry? I get them all mixed up. The one for me that's a guilty pleasure is Denise Richards, whatever one that was in. Maybe because I had a crush on her when I was like a kid or something. Ever since Wild Things. How do I stay so young? I don't know. Some days I look older, but other days I think the camera and the lighting helps. But I always do look slightly younger for my age. You know what it is? You stay clean shaven. I don't take anything too serious. And when things get too stressful in life, I step back. I say, you know what? Fuck it. Sometimes you got to just say, fuck it. And that'll keep you young forever. So what I've done is I have encapsulated myself with childlike humor and thoughts. And I think that's truly kept me young. That or I just have some good genetics from my parents. I don't know. I don't drink a lot. I don't smoke. So maybe those things helped. I don't know. You know what'll happen though is I'll look young throughout my 30s, and when 40 hits, I'm just going to look 75 years old. I'm already getting a lot of gray hairs. I got a lot of gray hairs, and that's okay because one day I hope to look like George Clooney. But I'm getting old. I assure you. Up close and personal, you'll see the wrinkles. Die Another Day is like a cartoon movie. Yeah, it's awful. The ice fortress at the end, so fucking bad. DJ Grice says, hey, John, good morning from the UK. Here's a $5 because you deserve it. Do you have a particular seat you go for at the cinema? Well, thank you for the $5, DJ. Didn't I say I was going to go to bed like 20 minutes ago? You know the trick to staying young? It's you guys. You keep me on my feet, you keep me young, you keep me active. Okay, when I go to the cinema, I like to go into the theater and sit slightly to the right of the screen. Just ever so slightly. Because my thing is, if I'm watching a movie dead center, then I'm like, I have to completely focus on all this and everything in my peripheral vision is going to bother me. But if I sit to the right of the screen, the best thing about that is I can put my arm like this and lean and look at the screen at a perfect angle. If I do that right here in the center, well, now it's like you can't really get comfortable. I think that's my logic and why I sit just a few seats over to the right. It makes me feel safe. Lee Kane Pettit says, working a 9 to 5 in an office taking calls. Office space is painfully relatable. How did you escape when you worked in an office? Okay, so I did work in a cubicle, and it was the worst shit of my entire existence. I remember working in a cubicle, looking out my window every day or every week, and I would see guys come by and like mow the grass, put mulch down, do landscaping. And as I watched them do this, I was like, I would give anything to go out there and be those guys right now. Anything. Because I'm sitting there with a headset on, making phone calls. I have some fucking chick come by every 7 minutes micromanaging me about nothing. It was just awful. It was an awful experience. So I completely understand your pain and your agony. What I'm going to tell you to do is there's a lot of jobs. Maybe, okay, here's a few options. Just try these out, right? Don't quit your job. If it's a decent job, stick with it. But try these options out. Maybe pick up a part-time delivery job, right? Deliver pizzas. Maybe do a DoorDash. Just try these out. Just try them out and see if you like them. Because these jobs, you need a job where you can be left alone, do what you want to do, take a break when you want to take a break, So for me, when I had that job, I did exactly what I'm telling you to do. I got a job delivering pizzas part-time because in college I did it. I loved it. And I was like, you know what? I made decent money doing that because I drive like an asshole. I could take like 4 pizzas at a time. And I made okay money working 20 to 30 hours a week. And plus I was alone in my car, driving around, eating breadsticks, drinking Mountain Dew, listening to music. So my recommendation is look for a part-time gig that offers you something like that. And if you like it, then find a few part-time jobs and quit your full-time job. I don't know. That's my advice to you. But now, another thing you could do is just get on like Indeed.com and see what kind of job listings there are. Like, you never know what kind of random shit's going to be posted. So my advice is you need to get a job where you're not stuck in one place all day, where you can move around. You need a little bit of freedom and flexibility. And that's how I am. I cannot sit in one place all day and be told what to do. I just can't do it. If I wasn't doing YouTube right now, I don't know what else. I could do something else. I could do it, but I don't want to. What else would I be doing? I don't know. Probably installing internet or something into people's houses. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Selling cars. Maybe I could sell cars. I don't know. West Sports Talk says, if I send you $100, would you say F Chris? Yeah, I would. Absolutely. Yes, I will say that. $100, absolutely. I'll say whatever you want me to for $100. Give me a blank piece of paper and I'll sign it. Whatever you want. But if you do it, can you use the Streamlabs link down below so YouTube doesn't take 30% of it, please? All right, let's keep going here. Claudia Rogajon says, been watching you since I was 13. I'm 21 now. Batman and Robin review was my introduction to you. I'm scared that was 7 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy, man. A lot of people tell me that was the introduction to me, that Batman and Robin review. We went to a Comic-Con convention a couple years ago, and like 12 people told me that exact same thing. And my only thought is, I was like, oh, I should have made a better video. Alex Smith says, what are your thoughts on weed? I'm an advocate. I don't smoke weed. I'll take an edible, a gummy every once in a while, and more often than every once in a while. But for me, honestly, when I watch a movie and I take an edible, I watch the movie in a different way. Like I almost see things for how they actually are. Like, I can almost see the pages of the script as I'm watching the movie, and I'm breaking it down more so than I ever have before, because I think my brain's relaxed to the point where I can almost notice little details I've never picked up on before. It's almost like I was blind and now I can see for the first time. I start watching movies the same way Daredevil interprets visual things with sonar. I sound crazy right now. I know I sound crazy. I'm just saying it opens up my mind and I see things ever so slightly different and I sort of like it. It's like watching a movie from a different perspective you never knew you had. But at the same time, you're watching it from that perspective you always knew you did have. Does that make any sense? Can I stop talking about this now? Let's go to the next question. Michael Entity says, a movie with bad reviews but you really love. Waterworld, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. What is another? There was something else recently that got shit on. What was it? Oh man, there was another movie. There's another movie I love. Why can I not think of what this is? There's a lot of bad movies I like that got shit on. Like Over the Top got shit on. I like it. I just don't think people were so focused on the arm wrestling aspect, they didn't step back and look at the father-son dynamic. And that's really sad if you ask me. Chris says, I don't want the stream to end. I'm sending $200 for 2 more hours of your beautiful face. Oh, don't. Just save it. We'll save it for another day. Please, I'm tired. I want to sleep. It's been a long day. I was moving furniture earlier. I went to the gym. Let poor old Flick Pick sleep. Marcus Robertson says, John, have you ever seen Cowboy Bebop? I've seen clips, I've seen scenes, I've never watched all of the movie. Or I've never watched the full feature length. And I heard the show was really bad. So, no, I have not. Jonathan says, John, I hope you sleep well. You're the man. I never let the world get you down because you're the GOAT for that. You deserve all the best, John. Is the GOAT, the man. You need to do stand-up. Very funny. Well, thank you for those kind words. I've thought about doing a stand-up routine once or twice. I don't know if I could handle all that pressure. I don't know if I could do it. This is my version of stand-up. Take it how you will. It's improv stand-up. It's not very funny, I know, but thank you for watching. Coleman Pike says, Dog, I'll send you pics of custom Blu-ray sets I've made. I splice everything artwork from physical releases to make my own inserts for multi-disc sets. That's cool, man. Yeah, send me an image on Twitter or Instagram. Send me a DM, man. I'll check it out. Claudia Rogajon says, have you seen The Thin Red Line? Kind of boring. I have watched The Thin Red Line once. I think I watched it at a time where I probably couldn't appreciate it as much as I should have. It's been on my list to rewatch for a long time, so I haven't watched it. I know Nick Nolte's in it, and he gives a damn good performance, but I don't remember much about it. Yeaman John says, did you ever see Giant 1956 with James Dean? It's in a weird way a prequel to There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis as an older version of Dean. Interesting. I have not seen it. That's interesting. I wonder if they actually. I wonder if he wrote There Will Be Blood based on that movie. I would assume probably he used that movie as some kind of reference or inspiration. Okay, guys, this is the last question. Okay, I have to go to sleep. I have to sleep. And by sleep, I mean go finish Gladiator and eat some hot wings and then fall asleep. All right, let's do it. It's a good question, though, so here it goes. Marcus Robertson says, thoughts on the decline of Screen Junkies and Collider? Those shows were great back in 2013 to 2017. I missed that time on YouTube. All right, that's a good question, and I have a lot to say about that. So, I do too. For me, there was something about the movie community of YouTube in 2013 to like 2016, I would say, was a really magical time period. Not only did I see the most success I've ever gained on YouTube, where things weren't saturated, and it seemed like people were taking the discussion of movies, and it wasn't just. What's the term I'm looking for here? It seemed like the possibilities were endless in this time period. So when it comes to Screen Junkies, a lot of people don't know this. I hosted a show on the Screen Junkies Plus network called Movie versus Movie. I did 2 seasons. I did like 20 something episodes. So I went to Screen Junkies Studios in LA like 3 or 4 times. I was on Movie Fights 3 or 4 times. I did a live panel of Movie Fights at a WizardCon convention in Chicago, and I knew a lot of people from Screen Junkies, and every time I was there, I had a pretty good experience, you know. So when it kind of dissipated and disappeared a few years back, I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. When it came to Collider, I knew Christian and Mark. I knew some people that were on it, but I never had any real involvement with it. But no, the beautiful thing was, though, there was enough money to fund these operations, you know, that just were groups of people talking about money or talking about movies. And it was really neat. And I miss it. You're right. I do miss that time period on YouTube quite a bit. Now it feels like everyone's just doing their own shit in their bedroom, and that's more or less where I've always been. But I don't know. If anything, the culture has changed. Because the thing was, there was media companies backing those shows and those YouTube channels, and I think people came to the realization that you don't need this overly produced show. You just, once again, you can be a guy in his underwear in his room getting more views to where the videos almost cost nothing to make. And I just don't think they were viable anymore. And that's why they sort of went away. But yeah, I do miss those time periods on YouTube. Those were the years where like you had your whole life ahead of you. Like it felt that way. Like anything can happen. Did you finish watching The Gray Man? No. I almost want to make a YouTube video talking about how I watched only 30 minutes of it. Flick Pick OG movie channel. My channel started in 2010, and I swear to you, at the time, I feel like there was like 5 other review channels and maybe like 5 other physical media channels. And I started doing both things. And then like 5 cut to now, there's fucking 8 billion channels doing the same thing. It's insane. I will just say this. I'm glad I started when I did. Jonathan, thanks for the tip. Jonathan gave me another tip, and Jonathan gave me a third tip. Thanks for 3 tips, Jonathan. Much appreciated. Okay, guys, I said this last question. I'm not answering any more questions. I love the questions, but I have to go to sleep. Okay, here it is. Coleman Pike says, just DM'd you pics of the sets I made to your Twitter, dude. Okay, I'll check them out, man, after this. I swear to you, I'll check them out. And thank you. John, can you do stunts on your videos? What kind of stunt? I can finish the rest of this energy drink. Are you ready? Ta-da! I can balance. Shit. No, I can't. Hang on. I can balance this pen on my finger. Balanced as all things should be, little one. Oh, never mind. We're gonna kill your mom now. Thanks, Thanos. All right. I think that's a good place to end it with genocide. All right. As always, guys, thank you guys for the questions. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I do much appreciate it. And we're going to do another one of these before the month ends. Look out for that. And also, there's a few other videos coming to the FlickPick channel this week, so look out for those. Which one should I do first? Should I do my favorite movies of 2022 thus far, or my least favorite movies of 2022 thus far? Which one would you like? Would you like to see first? Marvin the Martian says he's rubbing himself. Me too. So either way, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for the comments. And if you could, give the video a like. I know it's so cliche. Give it a like and subscribe. But please do it. It does help the YouTube algorithm. It really does. And that way, from going forward, YouTube will actually show you my videos. I know, it's crazy. These are the things you have to do. The least is always more fun. I do agree. I'll probably do the least first, and then the ones I liked the second. Because as much as people say negativity is what sells. Isn't that true? You don't want to know what I like. You want to know what I hate, right? All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night. I'm going to go to sleep now. Actually, I'm going to go watch Gladiator. Good night. Bye-bye.